Soon as the live pop on.
It say the broadcast is live.
All right. So here we go.
Need it from you. Yeah. Crash land in the palm of my hand. That little flex wanna play by the coast. Carry the torch, I'm way up, it's litty wherever we flow. I came from the cold, used to rest on the floor and stitch up my wounds. Was born a soldier, flipping the struggle, I'm taking it worldwide. Hold it down when you talk to me. Say it is what it's supposed to be. Say it loud, better mean it too, yeah. Talk that good when you talk to me. Say it nice and I give it to you. You know my word is bond, yeah. What we on now is wild, shit a trip. Life is lit, take a breath. It's it. Now it's wild, it's shit a trip. Life is litty, you shit a gift.
And this is where you talk, bro.
Man, look, hey, everything froze, man. Everything was skipping and all that. But anyway, hey, welcome back to another episode of GVTV Season 3, episode something. No, this is the first episode of this season since
That's
we're
Mm-hmm.
back
right.
on the street. So, hey, welcome back for another season. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your boy, RL, and I'm here with my man, Mr. DJ PRS1,
Yeah.
and the lovely Savvy E. We got a special show for y'all, special treat. I'm gonna let Miss Savvy E introduce
Our
Hey,
our
guest.
guest.
okay.
I
Hey,
can,
everybody. Welcome back to our first episode. Like he said, yes, season whatever, episode whatever. But we have the beautiful Miss Amar with us today. She's a singer, musician, and she's been doing her thing around Baltimore City. Been doing some big things. Um, I've been watching her a lot. She had performed in some of my shows. She's an amazing, amazing person. I want to introduce you. How you doing today, Miss Amor?
I'm pretty good in yourself.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Welcome and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
That's good. That's good. So these are the two guys I work with, and on the show. That's PSN1 and Mr. RL right there.
Nice to meet y'all.
Yeah.
likewise.
Likewise.
So like I said, I left my question to you in the other phone. That wasn't smart. So we just gonna try to wing it tonight. Just talk to you, ask you a
As we
little bit
usually
about
do.
a little bit about yourself and what you got going on. So what you got going on lately?
All right. So February this year, I pretty much dropped an EP. It's self-titled I Am a More, available on all streaming platforms. Pretty much just to just introduce who I am as an artist, how I became really a more. I mean, of course, it's my birth name, but I don't think that we really define our names until we actually step in our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm in the process of also writing a book. I'm a mom, so that's always a 24/7 job. I have been trying to do like volunteer work and work with different artists as well as producers within the city. I've been traveling outside of the state as well, trying to get my name out there, networking. I'm just trying to get to know some new people, and not allow the virus to like scare me. Um, you know, More or less, and just continue to just try to do my thing, but be cautious with it. Um, and just make great music. That's my goal, just to make great music, and ultimately be a messenger to people who may be going through the same thing, or just to help somebody.
All right, all right. So you say you got a daughter. How's your daughter?
She's 4 going on 40.
I saw a video of you guys. What was that about? You were singing,
So
she was performing, and she was up there singing with you.
yeah. So I had an event with Behavioral Health of Baltimore. Big shout out to them and what they do for the city. Pretty much it talks about mental health, recreating the narrative in a sense, letting people know like what you have gone through is not the end. It's just your foundation. So
Right.
that was a great platform to have, and to pretty much kind of talk about my healing as well with the demise of my husband. And it was just like I was I was real nervous, but people were like, you didn't seem nervous at all, you know, but I'm always nervous, more or less because I'm being vulnerable, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So in that time of vulnerability, which I don't often show, you know what I mean? But it's like, look, you got to do this because what you've gone through is not even for you. Just do this thing, do it well, and give a great show. But my daughter pretty much took over the show.
Okay.
Yeah, she pretty much took over the show. She was like, I called her up to sing a song, How, which is dedicated to her father, you know, letting people know what actually happened that particular day. But she got up there, she was singing my song and she grabbed the mic from me and pretty much took over the show. So, you know, that's the real star. I mean, hey,
Right,
I'm
right,
not mad, you know.
Right.
I'm not mad at all, baby. Do you? You know?
right,
So it
right.
actually made me very proud, you know, to see like, okay, because it confirms that your children are watching you, so you
Right,
Yes.
gotta watch what you do. Yeah.
right, right. So,
And I'm glad you kind of said that because it was so weird because Savvy knows and Savvy has fun with this all the time. I always sing with Smule, and I kind of, I'm croaking on Smule all the time. But I must have almost, I want to say over 1,000 videos of Smule, of me singing on Smule. Savvy's cracking up on this stuff all the time. However, my son, I guess, seen this, started off on Smule, and actually produced a song. And he's what, 13, 14 now, and he actually has a song on iTunes, and it's crazy. And I was like, wow. And once he started and he sounded great, I was done. That's it. I hung up my Smule headphones.
Yeah. So I kind of think, you know, that probably will eventually happen.
Right.
But she's, you know, I have instruments here at home, and you know, we work. We have like a little studio at home, so like I let her, you know, just try it, because I don't know what will come out of it. So I'm just like, you know what, just do your thing, you know.
right,
So
Right.
she enjoys it, and I'm, you know, I'm the type of parent that will be like, you like something, all right, let's do it. Let's see how it goes, you know.
right, right,
So she'll actually see if she actually likes it, or nah, maybe not, mommy, you know. So
right.
that's my thing. Yeah.
So I know you probably get this question all the time when you do interviews, but how did you start in what you're doing, and where do you see yourself going with this?
Okay, so I pretty much started like writing poetry. You know, I consider myself like the loner kid, because I had friends, or well, as my mother would say, associates. I had associates, you know, but I was always like to myself, because I never felt like that I fit in. So it was like, okay, well, I see everybody else having fun. Like, why can't I just have fun like them? You know?
Mhm.
So my outlet was more or less to write. I found a love in music in like elementary school. But I didn't start singing. I started to play instruments. I started to read music and things like that. And that's what I found the love in. Singing didn't really come until probably like I was about 12 or 13.
Mhm.
Um, and that's because I joined the choir at church. And the ironic part is I knew no church songs.
Oh wow.
And you know, you had to audition for the choir. And you know, I never told anybody this story, but you had to audition for the choir. I told the director, I don't know any church songs. He's like, well, sing what you know. So I sung an Aaliyah song, okay, because I had no idea what a church song was, you know,
Right.
but I
I'm glad
learned
you ain't
over
saying the
time.
song.
He told me sing a song. Okay, so I sung a song, you know, just so happened it was an Aaliyah song. And you know, as time grew, I also grew, and the irony now is that I do praise and worship at church.
Oh,
So
Okay.
you
wow.
know, you it's not how you start. I mean, you know, it's how you finish.
Right.
Right.
Ultimately, it's
Right.
like,
Right.
you know, through this whole process, right now, I kind of see myself like not just doing the singing part, but also the background part as
Okay.
well. Like the producing aspect, helping writing music for other artists.
I was about to
I
ask
think
you
that's
that.
my biggest thing. I am like speaking it into existence that my music that I'm writing now will become a part of commercials and movies. That's so I want to get placements, and that's my biggest thing because I need to leave my mark. I don't want to just. Of course, I want to make timeless music, but I feel like if I can utilize it in other places, that'll set a foundation for my daughter in the long run.
Mhm.
And that's my biggest thing right now.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. You have any questions for us?
At this, we you know, growing up before having kids and stuff like that, you did a lot of stuff for yourself and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But from the time you drop one of them seeds and you get a little human duplicate of yourself running around, your life changes and you start doing things just for them. Your whole life is no longer yours. It's crazy. Like everything in your life is defined by what these by these kids, you know, and it's crazy. Um yeah, so you know, we understood that, you know, Savvy and I being at the half century mark and Ramon still, you know, struggling to catch up, you know.
And two, I mean, ultimately, I'm the oldest of 13,
Right.
so
Wow.
it was already set for me. You know, I'm my mother's only
13.
child, but my dad, you know, Papa was a Rolling Stone, so
Oh,
you
oh,
know,
okay.
but
Damn.
it was already set for
They had
me.
no
You know,
cable back then.
what can you do, right?
Right.
So
So your music, do you have like original your stuff written? Are you on iTunes? Where can we find your music and all that stuff? You know,
So the music
are
is
you on
absolutely
YouTube?
everywhere. It's on YouTube, iTunes, it's on Apple Music, Google Play, everything that you could possibly think of. That's where the music is. Um,
Gotcha.
the EP I Am a More is things that I wrote.
Right,
More or
right.
less, like I had more hands on in this particular project. That's why it's so dear to me, and it's like I want people to actually take a listen more than just look for the visual, because
Right.
within these actual songs, I'm telling you a story. So even if you
Got
are to close your eyes and just imagine what I actually went through with these particular times, I think that you'll be able to see that without actually seeing the visual on a television screen or computer
right,
screen.
right. And ladies and
So
gentlemen, if you're listening, we're gonna have her information somewhere on the bottom. We're gonna have all her stuff in all her description, all that. Everything's gonna be in the description. Go ahead,
Yeah.
right.
Savvy.
So collaboration, like who here locally that would you love to collaborate with?
So there's a few artists that I actually met recently. Jazzy Divine, Black Asset, DDM.
Mm-hmm.
It's TT the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Just different from different sectors, and I think they all give something special, you know, to the music industry themselves, because they put their heart into their music. And
Mm-hmm.
what's better to surround yourself than people that you're like, or that people that you're aspire to be like.
So what kind of genre would you put your music in? Like pop? What?
So I mean, like I'll say like R&B, sometimes neo soul type of, you know, that type of thing, you know, because I like music that has meaning, you know. I kind of go back to the 90s in a sense, and even before then, but the 90s more or less because I was born in the 90s. But um, it was just those songs, but more or less had, it was more than just a beat.
Right. There was music.
Right.
There was lyrics. There's a
Exactly.
story. Right.
Right.
That's yada
So
yada
if,
yada. We hear it now.
right, if you wanted to remake a song, what would be that?
If I wanted to remake a song, that's a great question.
It's probably a
Hmm.
long list of songs you probably want to remake.
Man, it definitely is, but one in particular, that's kind of more recent than past would be "Fallen" by Alicia Keys.
Okay.
Mm, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
was she your inspiration when you started singing, or did you have, you know? I
So
remember
I
you
mean,
saying
Alicia
Aaliyah,
Keys was one,
right?
but I would the crown goes to Aaliyah. I mean,
Aaliyah, right,
and that's
right.
just, you know,
Yep.
Hands down. I
hands
agree.
down.
Hands
Yes,
down.
I agree. Hands down.
Yeah. Gone
I
too
mean, I
soon.
like Alicia Keys. I like how she sing, but there's something about that Aaliyah girl.
And two, it was
Hmm.
like she was because I dressed as a tomboy, you know, sometimes I still do. And it was just like to see her transform until the woman that she, you know, that she was, it was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay, that so this is what it means to be more than a woman, you know. It's
Right,
not just your physical appearance, but it's how you carry yourself, you know, how you um approach situations and things of that nature. Like you can still be sexy, but you don't have to show your all of your goods, you know. So Aaliyah, hands down.
So that's one of my questions about the industry and how they see women. Like, what is your opinion on that? Because a lot of times, a lot of women that in your industry, sometimes, you know, they come in a certain way, and then you start seeing them change and start dressing a different way. And if they're a plus size woman, they start losing a lot of weight. So how do you feel about that kind of stuff?
One thing that I'm learning is that you have to be comfortable in your own skin. And ultimately it's like, I mean, my aunt tells me all the time, you know, sex sells, and that's just what it is. I mean, it's always been that way. No matter how you look at it, no matter what era you've been in, whether you speak it or you look like it, is sex that sells. But more or less, you know, whatever your pleasure is, you know, so be it, you know. But for me, like you, I might show a little thigh or show a little stomach, but I don't really like to show too much. That's just never been who I am, you know. And I guess those particular traits have carried on now, and it's just like I said, as a kid, I never fit in. So I don't expect to fit in now. So, you know, either you take it or leave it, in a sense, you know.
So I have a friend. She's a singer, and she was told, she's a very curvy girl, and she was told that she needed to lose weight and work out. Have you ever came upon stuff like that?
I have, and you know what? I don't take offense to it. Because ultimately I look at it like, you know what? It's some things some things, it's like a sponge. You take what you need and you let go of what you don't.
Okay.
And whatever, if the shoe fits, lace it up, wear that thing, you know, and if it don't, just change your shoe. But you can, in this industry, you just can't take things personal.
Right.
Because if you take it personal, you'll be in your feelings all the time. I mean, the world right now is super emotional. I don't know if it's the retrograde or what it is, but you just have to really, again, be accepting of who you are. And if it's a thing where it might not, people need to learn how to word things, because it may not be a thing where, you know, just because you say something to me, I can perceive it as a different way. You might say, oh, you need to work out. And I might say, like, you telling me I'm fat. Right. But if you say, look, if you just do these exercises and you work on your cardio, your breathing can be a little different. You know, your stage presence can be a little different. It's just, you can't talk to everybody the same way. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to talk to your people.
So what's the hardest thing for you in this industry?
Not being able to have my daughter all the time. You know, it's like, I'm like, well, I pray that she understands what I'm doing, you know. But it's like, no parent can actually be there 24/7, no matter what you try to do, no matter how much you try to work your schedule around it. But I just, you know, I think that's the hardest thing for me. Because some days it is long nights. It is like times where I'm not coming home. But I am thankful for the support system that I have that helps me to do that.
Good. All right, I'm hogging up. Y'all got any questions for her?
No.
I do. I do. I've been focused really hard because I'm just the connections. I can hear Miss Moore really well, but you two, it's probably meant for me not to hear you two. I hear y'all all the time. But I do have a question for the beautiful young lady. As far as support, you know, starting off, you know, everybody says, "Hey, look, we're going to support you. We're going to be there for you." Have you noticed, you know, getting support from those, you know, you would expect, like family, close friends, stuff like that? Are you getting that support, or are they half-assing? And it's pretty much one of them things is, you know, they'll support you when others support you. You know what I'm saying?
So I laugh, right? Because it's so funny that you actually mentioned that, because that's what I'm going through right now, right? And ultimately it's like, of course people will say, you didn't send me the invite, you ain't send me this, you can send me that, you know? So lately what I've been doing is I'll send it to people, but I send it without expectation. So I don't get disappointed, because I have had shows where I've gone out of town by myself and people are like, oh, look, I'm gonna come with you. And this, that, and the third. I'm like, look, I got things to do and I can't allow, because my problem a lot of times was because people didn't come with me, I would stop myself from going, right? So now it's a matter of, look, if you continue to stop yourself, you'll never go.
Right.
Right.
So look, peace. I see you when I see you. You know, everybody become cousin Pete. And that time where you know, other people buzzing your name or things are happening. But I know that if I keep God at the forefront, if I do what I'm supposed to do, everything
Right.
else will fall into place. Because the reality of it is, some people are just not meant to go on the journey with you.
Right.
Amen.
All right. Sounds great.
So what about your support from like your management team and stuff like that? Do they? Because I know you got a wonderful manager. I mean, there's no
Yeah,
question.
so
She's
big
awesome.
shout out to Sound Empire. They are immaculate. And everybody can say that about their team, but it's different when your team is actually hands-on. And when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, they're like, look, what are you doing? Come on, let's do this. You know,
Right.
and they're hungry just as well as I'm hungry. You know, when I'm having bad days or I'm just like, yo, I don't think I could do this anymore. You know, I'm just tired. They're like, bro, what do you mean? You've come this far, you know?
Right.
And the team is definitely needed. Like, of course, you know, we can always try to say, I'm self-made, you know, but I didn't make myself, you know, it came with a team.
Yeah.
I'm just fortunate that the team doesn't use and abuse me in the wrong way. That they truly believe in my dream, my aspirations, and my gift. And that they're willing to put themselves out there so that I can eat, so that my daughter can, you know. And it's just, they have been rocking with me, and I swear words can't even express like my gratitude for them. And I'm just thankful for the team that I do have.
Right. Shout out to Miss Stacy. I don't know everybody else on the team, but I do know her.
Yeah,
I mean, it was times when I have called her to ask her questions, and I had her on that phone for a long time. So yeah, I appreciate Miss Stacy.
yeah, that's my girl. Stacy time. That's the team, man. Yep.
Yeah, and that matters. That matters. Whatever you do in this industry, is you got to have a great team behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when people be like, "Oh, I did it by myself," I'll be like, "How? You know, how? How can you possibly do it by yourself? Even when you're in the studio, you can record yourself sometimes, but sometimes somebody else might hear something else that you may not. You know."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, yes, we were born alone, we die alone, but ultimately God puts people in our lives for different reasons. You know what I mean? So you got to use what you have.
Right. Now you write a lot of music and stuff like that. What is one of your personal favorites that you wrote?
Whew. My personal favorite.
Right.
I would.
That one song, like when they put you on a stage or a concert, that song has to be in the list to be sung.
So I can't give you one. I gotta give you two, right?
Hey.
So one song is called Bob,
Mm-hmm.
because like I'm a real chill person. You know, if you meet me, I'm just like, all right, cool. You know, I'm just going with the flow type of thing. So Bob is one. And I actually wrote that in my car on the way to work one day.
Wow.
Listening to the beat. And I'm like, I got it. You know, like that type of thing. And it was just like,
right.
that was crazy. That was crazy.
Right.
So Bob, and another song is I Just Want Your Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where'd you write that one?
So I actually wrote that in the studio. We were
Okay.
it was a late night, and the producer put on a beat. I'm like, I think I got it. And he's like, what?
Cool.
There's no way you got it. I'm like, you know, I just think about the things that we can't get back type of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And time is sometimes we take time for granted, but time is like one of the most important things in this life. To me, it is, you know, so.
Yeah. So your writing process has a lot to do with, I guess you got to hear the rhythm first. You got to hear the music first. And whatever you feel from it is what you put on paper, or is it vice versa? You write it and then you try to put a beat to it.
So sometimes it can, I guess it depends on my mood. I don't know. It's weird, right?
Right.
But sometimes I could do it with the music, and sometimes it could be like, I just come up with like a melody and I go off of that melody. Because my mind is always racing, even when I'm asleep. Lord help me. But my mind is always racing. So it's like, or it could be a thing where experience, you know how they say experience is the best teacher. So experience too can help me. let me, get this together real fast, try to cook this up. Um, but those sometimes it can be experience, can be the beat, or just my mood in itself.
All right, sounds great.
Yep, yep.
So I know before we close off and go and all that stuff, when we're shutting it down, you got to bless us with at least a little bit of the vibe.
I got you. I got you. Oh
You
look,
got to drop it.
I definitely want to shout out my cousin who's an artist.
Right.
She actually painted this shirt of mine. Her
Okay.
name is Shabir, the artist. She painted the shirt of mine. Can you guys see it? Hold on, let me stand up.
I think we can.
She painted the shirt of mine, and she does a great job actually.
Oh wow. I
But
know when you said she's an artist, I didn't realize you meant she's an artist like Drew. I thought she was
yeah,
also a singer.
she painted it and actually was able to place it on a shirt. So that was
Okay.
her. So I definitely got to give her that shout out for her piece. I got to
Right.
bless her for her piece.
Well, leave us with her information so we can put it out there for her.
Will
Right.
do. Will do.
She might even be a guest on one of our shows.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be dope.
yes, yes, yes. So make sure you leave us that information.
Right.
So anybody
Will do.
got any last questions for her?
We got a lot of questions, but we don't have time. So
I would love.
So, yeah, I
I'm
guess
struggling over here, paying attention. Everything is breaking up. I wish I could hear more.
so
Dang.
one I guess one of my questions is I don't know, moving into the Dave Chappelle thing. I don't know how you feel about dropping your comments. You don't have to say anything, but folks, if you can post your comments on the bottom, we can see your comments, what's written on the bottom, and hopefully Moan will probably kick us off with the topic tonight. Let's get this party started.
Can you hear us?
I don't know.
I don't
Can
think
you?
so.
He jumped
I
off.
want,
I don't know what's going on with his stream. Why can't he hear? Did he
So
turn the
we'll
volume
just
up?
keep talking to her until we come back.
Yeah, right. He turned the
So,
volume up. Yeah, the
do
topic
you
tonight.
have Do you have any artists, like a crossover artist that you would like to work with in the future? Like crossover music artists.
I
Yeah,
kind of
would
want
you?
to work with well, she's not really crossover, but one day I would love to work with Billie Eilish, but she's not crossover. But
I like Billie
She's
Eilish.
amazing.
yeah, I
She's
really
unique.
her music is dope.
Yeah, she's really unique.
Yeah.
So like would you dabble in other genres? I mean, and not everybody go to country, but would you sing country music, reggae, Caribbean music?
So definitely reggae, hands down. I would
Okay.
definitely love to do something with that, even if it was like with Skip Marley or Coffee,
Right.
somebody to that
So
extent.
you talking about the real reggae, not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dance
yeah.
hall stuff.
Not
Right.
no.
Right.
But two, another genre. I'm actually in the process of writing a rock music or rock song.
Okay.
And I guess I was feeling again my mood. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Kind of like just want to get that sense of rage, but tell my story in the rage.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm in the process of actually writing a rock song.
That's pretty good. So it's kind of weird being a DJ and stuff. One of my one of my parties, I remember mixing Wu-Tang Clan's "Protect Your Neck" to a rock rhythm, and it blew everybody's mind. Like I didn't realize it was going to take off like that, but it was one of those things I had hidden. And when I dropped it, everybody was like, "Okay, protect your neck," and then all of a sudden, boom, you heard the rock version came out. And because they do have a rock version of that song.
I didn't
And
know that, so I'm gonna have to
yeah,
search that.
You gonna have
yeah,
to bless us with that.
research it, you'll hear it, and it's original Wu-Tang. It wasn't like I mixed in the rock band behind it. They
Right.
actually had that record where they sang on a rock rhythm, and it was dope. It was dope as hell to hear
Mhm.
rap and rock together. It was like crazy. And
Well,
it wasn't just like the Run DMC rap. It was
oh yeah, I
hardcore. Protect your neck.
like
You're right.
Jay-Z did a song with Linkin Park.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like Numb. I think they did.
It was like it was like a whole concert.
Yeah, I think he did like about 3 or 4 of them songs.
Yes, when I heard it, I went crazy because I love Linkin Park, and
Right.
to them, to merge them together, it was
Mhm.
nice. They
And we
did
and,
that. They
and
really did.
I mean, Jay-Z is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
He's the GOAT.
yeah. I'm just kind of. I was sad when the lead singer of Linkin Park died. It was
Yeah.
yeah, that was really sad. Like he went through a lot of mental stuff, and that's another thing. Like, how do you keep your mind together in this kind of industry, especially the world with Instagram and Facebook and all this social media? Like, how do you keep yourself grounded and on the right path? Because I know, like, even with myself and the stuff that I do,
Mhm.
sometimes it becomes a lot,
Right.
and sometimes I have to turn off social media, and sometimes I have to sit in my house real quietly, just in one spot meditating, because being in this kind of industry, doing the things that we do, being around some people, sometimes you got to unplug from people.
Yeah.
So how do you, yeah, you like Lincoln Park, um how do you deal with it? How do you
That's his
manage
name.
it for yourself?
Chess
Yes.
Bennington.
Yes. So how do you manage it more?
So ultimately, so I have this thing called don't scroll day.
Hmm.
That's my day that I don't get on social media. I actually have my team to take over. And I'll tell them like, look, I just need some time. So I'll send them, things that I want them to post throughout the week, and they'll do that for me. I
Right.
also, have to meditate. I have to have prayer. I have to fast. Is a lot of things that I have to do because I'm going in different places. I don't know people. I'm real big on vibes, and like I don't like after I perform, I don't really allow people to touch me because I'm at a vulnerable state. Um,
Mhm.
and I just so I really got to be careful as to who I like even shake hands with, who
Right.
I allow hug me and things like that. So I'm really like a little distant in a sense. But I've even been teaching my daughter like how to relax herself. Make sure that we take like when we do baths, we have like candles and things of that nature. Just loving knowing myself a lot. Um,
Right.
and letting myself have giving myself that permission, like it's okay not to be okay.
Right.
Okay.
Um, More or less giving myself that permission because I don't think that we give ourselves enough credit. I don't think that
Mhm.
we give ourselves the permission to not be okay.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
and I don't think we actually enforce to people like, look, just back up off of me, for a second, just give me a
Mhm.
breather.
Mhm.
So I'm learning to like not be the yes man, and to really just, respect my space.
Right. That's good. That's awesome. I see we got old RL back.
Yeah. How's it sound now, bro? Can you hear us?
Oh Lord.
Man.
What in the world just happened?
Oh, it's always somebody somewhere, something happening. They don't want us to be great. They just don't want us to be great. Somewhere out there in the universe, somebody like, we don't want them to win.
It's them, it's them letters, man. It's the XFNITIY.
Right, right. So let's probably go ahead and just talk about Dave Chappelle. Like I haven't really been really following the situation. I I had seen some of it. I listened to a little bit of what he said and what other people were saying, and he had some great points. And someone came back and kind of piggyback on some stuff that he said,
Right.
and did this whole little documentary on it and everything. And it's I mean that it's very touchy. It's a very touchy situation,
Right. I,
and you have to. We as a generation, um, I guess we gotta be careful. We gotta be careful of what we say and everything. But people have to be honest in how they feel about that situation. And that's my problem with it all. It's like, um, in that community, I know people, I have family members, all that kind of stuff, and we have these conversations, and my conversation with them is like, you want us to respect you and respect who you are, but then y'all forget that y'all have to respect us and who we are and the way that we think and how we take things. So I'll be having these long deep conversations. So what are y'all thoughts and opinions and everything about the Dave Chappelle thing?
yeah. Um. Now, did you see the stand up? I mean, I saw the stand up routine, and yes, it was different, and yes, he touched base with them a lot, but you have to kind of look deep into it. And if the psyche of it's not that he was hating on him. He
Mm-hmm.
was, he was. It shows that he accepts him, and he was just letting you know this is how life has changed, and it's to me, it wasn't. And that's the thing. And here we go. Miss Bertrand just said it. He was just brutally honest with a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff that we've been talking about, he just said it on the air, and that's it.
Mhm.
And it's nothing that it was to me. It was nothing. He didn't talk about killing him. He didn't talk about murdering. You know what I mean? It was more about. It was comedy about how they react and how things go. And remember, he has also been a victim of this kind of stuff before, the Kevin
Right.
Hart situation. So it's a lot of those stuff. He wasn't really to me, he wasn't really making light of it as well as he was, but it was more of, hey, it's okay it's okay to be this way. One of to me, one of the things that stood out in my mind was when he talked about um, him being in the bathroom, and this woman walks in, and he was like, "What the hell? Why is there a woman in the bathroom?" And all of a sudden, she hikes her skirts up and pulls out a really meaty dick, and that's exactly how he describes it. Turns out it was a man. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's one of those things. And then he said, on the flip side to that, you know, if it was a guy that walked in and instead of turned around and sat on the urinal. So that's what made it funny. It was like, yo, you never thought of it that way, because now the
Right.
man is the woman. You know, you know what I mean? But
Right.
I didn't see it as offensive at all. He wasn't offensive to the point where with black people, they talk about black people, they talk about white people, they talk about
Right.
comedians. That's their job. That's
No.
freedom of speech.
Mhm.
They can talk about what they want. Not to the point where you got to pull them and all that stuff. Come on, man. It's just you got to be able to laugh at yourself. You know what I mean? For one, it,
Right.
it it's I don't think he was disrespectful. Major or off the wall disrespectful at all.
I agree.
What about you,
So we,
Ramon? What you think? We can hear you clear.
Well, like I said, I'm focusing on what y'all saying. I'm trying to get everything that you guys are saying. Hopefully, I'm not chopped and screwed as I speak.
you done.
But
No,
y'all know me. I loved
right.
it. I watched it 3 times. I think one of the most fucked up things out here is the fact that you cannot be truthful anymore. But that's what everybody keep asking for. Just be honest. Just be honest. It's okay for people to get up on stage and make jokes about slavery and how poor some people are, how poor black people been as far as what we
Right.
had to eat and the ghetto and calling each other hoes and calling our women hoes and bitches. That shit is entertaining. No one has a fucking problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about the community, and another thing is they forget a lot of people in the community black, but they act like they not black. Like they can't relate to what David Shack was saying, and
Right.
that's sad. That is really really sad.
Right.
Now,
Right.
you know, as far as the show, like he didn't say anything that was offensive. And he kept stay. He said facts. These are facts, and they are facts. They are facts. But see, people don't like when you actually hold the mirror up close to their fucking face. You see everybody standing in the mirror, they actually about 3 feet away from it. When you put it up a little close to their face, they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, I do see what they're saying." But no, no, no. I want to give it to you. I want to display it my way. Yo, end of the day, if you were born a fucking man, you are a fucking man. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do to change it. You were born a man. And I'm with him supporting J.K. Rowling. It is offensive to a lot of women. It should be offensive to a lot of women. You got a man who became a woman in the same year, like he said, one woman of the year. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is
Right.
that about?
Right.
Right. Right.
You know
Right.
how disrespectful that is to
Mm-hmm.
to women out here.
Right.
That get out here and they fight to matter in this world. They fight to matter in a male dominated dominant society, far as the
Right.
workplace. You
Right.
know, that is disrespectful, but they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to say that. They don't want to hear that. You
Right.
know, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. At the same time, it was funny as hell. I stand with Dave. And another thing is, Damon Wayans just spoke on Dave Chappelle behalf. He said Dave Chappelle has single-handedly freed the slave about comedians and their approach to the stage and how they speak on certain matters. You know, that's high praise. 2 days
Yep.
after this special drop, Dave Chappelle did another show for a bunch of celebrities that attended. And he was like, if this is what being canceled feel like, he said, I fucking love it. You know what I mean? You
What?
can't stop the truth.
That's
You
right.
cannot stop the truth.
Nope, you
Right.
can't. It's
So
it's
how you
it's
feel, Mr. Moore, about it?
Well, you know, if you like it, that's your thing. You know, but ultimately somebody's gonna speak their truth. You can't, you know, I mean, you know, everybody wants to be heard, of course. But ultimately, like, comedy is supposed to be funny. Comedy has always been a thing where comedians talk about the tough things, the things that people do want to say, but they are afraid to say because, of course, they don't want to be quote unquote canceled.
right.
You know, but I think that, you know, it kind of brings the irony. It kind of like allows people to see things from a different perspective because, you know, one person's perspective is not always correct. But when it's actually brought into a light, it allows people to see, look, this is the problem, or this is, you know, what's going on. Let us see it from a different perspective. So I think it kind of opens that window. But I think people are so afraid to be different, to know different. So and it kind of so they like go with the crowd sometimes, you know. But ultimately, I love Dave Chappelle. I have loved Dave Chappelle since the Dave Chappelle show, and before then, you know, and it's Dave Chappelle. Like you know, I mean, that's all I can say is Dave Chappelle. I can't really.
Right.
He's gonna
Right.
say whatever he wants to say. He's gonna leave. He's gonna come back and
Mhm.
make you mad. Leave and come back and make you mad again. So I mean, that's just how he's been, and he's been funny. It's Dave Chappelle.
We need a T-shirt. It's just Dave Chappelle.
You
Ooh.
know.
Miss Patran saying something. I can't read it. Can you
It
read
said,
it?
I remember watching Chappelle's show and thinking, how does he come up with the characters he does, like Clayton Bigsby, a blind Klansman that doesn't know he's black? Who the hell else would think of something like that?
Dave
Yep,
Chappelle.
Man,
Nobody else
Dave
but
yeah.
Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle.
He's
Look,
funny.
we have like remember when the Dave Chappelle show was on? We got like every season, and we used to sit and just watch it like we never watched it before. And it's like you see something and you just like, damn, did I miss that the last time? Because that shit is funny. Like
Right.
that man, like when he did that skit with, about Prince, I was done.
Yep.
I was on the floor. I was
Prince.
like,
And
I
It's
Rick
a
can't.
couple
James,
great
he
ones in
made
there.
fun of everybody.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nobody was
Yep.
excluded from
Nope.
being made fun of.
What
yeah,
was it? Rick James? I'm Rick James, bitch.
yeah. So you know, I just think like you were saying, I'm piggyback off what you said earlier about people being insensitive and very emotional, and we all in our feelings about everything, like
Everything.
everything. You know, this society is so different. You know, so different than when I grew up. Yeah, R. Kelly, he did make fun of R. Kelly. So, but with the community and everything, I mean, I be having these. I mean, because I got questions. I'm sorry, I
Hmm.
got questions. Like RL said, I was born a woman. I'm a woman, and
See,
my
and
thing,
that's not
like,
to cut you off, Savvy. When they, but you say you have questions, but they don't take it as you having questions. You're curious to know.
no,
They
they
take it
don't.
as an offense, and
Right,
it's not. We're just trying to understand. Some of us
right.
who not used to this stuff, who've
But
been
No.
see,
here on this planet a little about 50 years, want to understand. You know what I'm saying? It's about understanding and comprehending. It's not about us trying to offend you.
Mm-mm,
It's not. So
mm-mm.
but see,
so.
I think
But
when we as a people think about as a people, right? When we as a
right,
people have been fighting for things so long, we do become offensive. You know what I'm saying? We
right,
and because it's just like you're asking me this question. Why are you asking me this question? You know what I mean? What do you want to know for? And it's sometimes it could be nothing personal at all. But
Nope.
again, that goes back to don't take things so personal. But when it's dear to you, of course you're gonna take it personal. You know what I mean? Because you never feel like people really want to understand because you feel like no one has ever understood. So why should I explain to you when you gonna keep asking me the same question? And I think that's where the frustration comes from. But there's lack of understanding. There's lack of communication on different parties.
Mhm.
And because we don't necessarily know how to communicate, it it kind of brings that division.
And you know what's weird? Because that happens with older white people and black folk. They'll
Yeah.
ask a question because they really don't know what it's like to be in this black culture or whatever it is. And sometimes black people do get offended by it.
Like
You know?
that's for instance, say for instance, a white couple comes to you and say, you're in a restaurant. White couple comes to you and say, oh, what are you doing here? Like, I'm here to eat. What do you mean? It's things like that, you know.
Hmm.
So sometimes we just gotta I think people don't take people's feelings into consideration. Sometimes we just think like, I know I was raised this way. This is how I tell you it is, you know.
Right,
So why
right.
can't you just listen to my reason or you know? So I just it can be complicated, but I think
Yep.
if we actually learn how to communicate with each other in effective ways and not ways to tear each other down, it may make things a little better.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's the key part right there. It's
Hmm.
communication. You
It
know,
is.
Right.
it comes down to communication. You know, you take a look out here, excuse me, and you have, you know, transgenders trying, well, not trying, but participating in, um, you know, like you'll have a man, you know, transgender man participating, or is it transgender woman? See, it's confusing to me. So you have a transgender man, right? I guess a man who want to be a woman
Right.
Mhm.
Just transgender.
participating in,
Yeah. Just
yeah,
just yeah.
yeah, participating in the female sport, you was born a man. This is not fair. And I want to say the individual went on to win like first place in all of the events last year or whatever. And, like, you know, you scratching your head and you're like, oh, you know, help me to make sense of this, because at the end of the day, you can change your appearance on the outside. You can't change who you are in the inside. You
Mhm.
know, there needs to be a real conversation, and it shouldn't be with like us and the community, because clearly the community shouldn't be in control of this. They shouldn't be in charge of this. This should be a real sit down with people and
Yeah.
and just look. This need to be. We got to make sense of this because we have children. You
Yeah.
know, we're no longer hiding this from the children. Our children are being exposed to a lot of worldly things. You can say what you want, it's still worldly. We
Hmm.
need to make sense of it for them. Because if your son wants to be a woman at 12 and 13, and that's a big decision. And that's one that, you know, celebrity Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union is dealing with. That's a big decision. But if we don't have it under control, have it straight, have it figured out how we're going to go forward with this, then how can you let your 12 or 13-year-old child make this decision and you be comfortable about it? You know, we're just, you know, I think a lot of people look at it, you know, see it as, you know, adults speaking, adults handling business, but we have children out here making these decisions, these life changing decisions, and we
Right.
haven't figured it out.
Right.
Mhm. I mean, I agree with that.
Hmm.
Sometimes, you know, children at a certain age, they don't even know who they are or what they want to be in life.
Right.
And you know, taking it off subject a little bit, when my children were growing up, they wanted certain things. And as a parent, you know, it was like, no, you're not going to get that. But when you become a certain age, you can do what the hell you want. When you get
Right.
the
Hmm.
adult to be able to pay for these things, then you can do. But while you under my watch, this is how it's going to be. Um, so when they became 18 or 19 or whatever, they was able to make whatever decisions that they want. Now, if I have a daughter that's gay, love her to death, and wasn't surprised when she came out and told me. Not at all. Not she thought I was gonna be. I was like, girl, I was just waiting for you to say something. Because she's my daughter. I watch her. I watch her grow up. I saw when the change was happening and things like that. Only my concern with her was I just didn't want her to hurt herself. Because, some people, they get in depression because they feel like they can't come out, they can't talk to you or anything like that. But
Yep.
when we had the conversation, this is the thing, what I was saying earlier. Um, the conversation has to be real. The questions have to
Mhm.
be, and you have to have understanding from both parts. And I had to be real. I had to tell her, how I was raised, how I raised you, but I can't stop you. You're a grown woman, and the
Mhm.
things that you do, you have to answer to whoever you pray to at night. Just like me,
Mhm.
I love you to death. That's my baby girl. I mean, my middle girl, but it's some things that I'm not ready for. And her friend, I accept her. I love her as much. But if they get married today or tomorrow, I'm sorry I can't be there. But I love you. Sing your gift. Because it's just some things I'm not ready for. But as her friend was at my dinner, on Sunday. I invite her to everything because I don't want her to feel like we leaving her out.
Mhm.
Her son
Exactly.
is like a grandchild to me, like everything. And she's very supportive. Like everything that I have, or when my birthday come around, or Mother's Day, So I don't, because my heart is not like that. But I have to be truthful. I really have to be truthful, and that's the thing. They want us to accept them, but they still have to understand that some people it's some things we just not going to accept, or some people just never going to get there, and you got to be all right because you still got to live your life, no matter whether your parent, your cousin, your aunt, whoever accept you. You still got to live your life.
Right. Yep. Yep. I pretty much had the same. It's my daughter is bi. So and growing up with a child that's going through stuff like that is like, I think you're too young to figure out to in my head she was too young to decide, but in her head it was a confusion. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's one of those things where I'm trying to instill her to be, no, you got to be straight. That's not gonna happen. And then, but she's fighting with these urges, and it's one of those things where you have to sit back and go, you know what? I love you. I love you for for who you are and all that stuff. And I'm here because I didn't want to chase her away. I want
Mm.
her to be able, as you said, they go through depression and stuff because they feel like they can't come talk to you. I'm
Right.
here. We're gonna bounce this stuff back and forth. Just how you're confused, I'm confused, or I'm seeing a little bit. I'm seeing a little bit clearer. But it's one of those things where she's it's your kid, and you gotta accept it. You gotta kind of, because you push them away, and there's so many people in that community that commit suicide because of not being accepted. And
Hmm.
and the suicide rate is real high because of not being accepted. And especially from family members. That's the part that hurts them the most. The parts
Yeah.
that hurt, I mean, their whole community can love them, but if they don't get acceptance from family, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sister, your siblings, you don't get acceptance, you're outcast, and that gnaws at you. That gnaws at your soul, your inner, because that's where you want the acceptance to come from. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where um, sometimes you got to put your shield and your swords down and just open your arms and and hug your kids. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like, I need you to understand. I may not agree, and just like you said, Sabby, I may not agree with what's going on, and I don't think that the Bible does either or whatnot. But I still love you. You know what I
Right.
mean? I still love
Right.
you as a kid. I still love you, and I accept it. I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm here for you. You know what I mean? And that's what it all comes down to. Um, everybody says a difference when it's your son. Hey man, wait a minute, we gotta take you to strip club or something. But no, it's kind of the same.
Yeah. So you got all sons, RL. So how would you feel if one of them came to you and was like, "Hey, Dad, I think I want to be a lady." He must can't hear me.
He
No,
ain't
he
hear you.
I think I think
Hey,
he's
shake
just
your
trying
head
to.
if you hear us, man.
I think he's just
I'm
trying to focus.
right.
You say
Right.
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
It's sad. I hear you, but I can't hear you. I'm like, getting, 3 words here, 4 words there, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. I have no idea.
So
Don't worry,
I
I'm
said,
sending it in the text. I'm
yeah, send
texting
it
it
to
to
the
him.
text. Let's see the text. So maybe
If you found out,
I have no idea. Y'all talking to me?
he's texting. He's texting you.
Oh, Savvy wants to know how would you react if your son was gay. You know what? I wish. Hey, look. So, the world that we live in. You know what I mean? It's different times. You know, um, it's a tough one because I come from an alpha male family, and we did have a couple gay males in our family, and we loved them the same. But when you talk about your son, you talk
yeah,
about somebody that you envision, taking over the throne. Someone like real manly, masculine, just a warrior, the warrior that you wanted to be, and you may not have was able to become that warrior. But it's like, you know what? I know Simba will be that one. Simba will take the pride and have 3 or 4 movies after this one. So, my son, if my son came and told me he was gay, I would love him all the same. Would I be a little hurt? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it's my son. You know what I mean? I envision my son getting married to a woman and having a family the traditional way. And I think that's another problem, the community have is that we consider that traditional and their way not traditional. But it is what it is. I want to see my son marry a woman. I want to see my son hold a woman hand. You know, that doesn't make me a bad guy. That doesn't, make me you know, hate the community. It's just that's how I feel. I would still love him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my son. He had, I'ma love him. It's just like my daughter. If either my daughters came and told me I'm gonna love him regardless, but I envision them marrying a man, not dating someone that look like a man, but is a woman. It's like that just blows my mind. It's like, whatever. I prefer it to be the traditional way.
right.
But I'm gonna love them regardless. Like you said, when they turn 18, they can do what they want to do. It's their life. I'm living my life. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Truly, we can just love and support them. But at the same time, I'm gonna love and support you, but I need you to love and support me for my beliefs as well. And I think that's another issue that we have out here. It goes both ways. You can't be upset with me because I'm not. I love you, but I can't support this part of it. But then you want me to support something, you know, that I'm not comfortable with, but you want me to be it's all confused. I don't even know where I'm going with this. To be honest with you, I just look. I love you, son. I'll be there for you. But just like the things you don't like and you want me to accept you for 'em, fine. I need you to do the same for me. Love me regardless. And I'll love you regardless. And it is what it is. But I can't. I'm not trying to. I mean, think about this shit, man. All right, now, PRS, when you a man, think about this, right? You coming up, chasing girls, your homeboys chasing girls, y'all chasing girls. That's all you know is chasing girls. Eventually you get married or whatever, right? And you have a son and you like, Lord, as he get older, he's 13, 14, like, baby, we got to keep an eye on him. We gave him the key to the house. We know he might cut school. We know he might bring a girl home. And you come home early one day from work and you go in the basement and you catch your son down there giving head to a dude. That fucks you up, man.
It do.
Hey,
It do.
that just
I'm
that
and
takes
as
it up.
Heavy say, I'm not ready for it.
I'm not
Yeah,
ready.
I'm not ready for
yeah.
that.
I'm not ready.
You know what I mean? Or your son is he ain't the pitcher, he the receiver. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, come on, man. Come on, man. At least pitch.
If you're gonna do it, just pitch, huh?
Yeah,
Right.
at least pitch, man. Don't be the catcher, man.
I don't think that that's your choice. I think it's their
Right.
choice of theirs. I think whatever floats their boat is what's gonna happen in that moment. So it's like 8:03. So we can say some last thoughts from you, Miss Amora, before we sign off.
Well, we still
Um.
need to drop the vibe, so
Oh, you
Yeah,
want to
we
hear
still
Bob?
need you to drop that
yep,
vibe.
we still needed to drop that vibe.
I got y'all. I got y'all. I got y'all. But ultimately, like, if I could say anything to anybody that may be on the live right now, is be true to yourself. Love yourself. No matter what you are going through, you can overcome what you're going through. Where you are now is not your final destination. Just gotta keep pushing, keep grinding, keep God first. Everything will be all right. It might not seem like it right now, but trust me, everything will be. Still smile when you're feeling sad. You don't have to fake it though, but just smile anyhow, because the
Right.
rainy days are gonna be over. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
Bob Marley sound.
Mhm.
Things
But yeah,
over.
I play this vibe for y'all real fast. It is a whole vibe out here anyway, though. So I'm just
Why he
All right.
looking up? Why he
Bless
up
us
there
with
looking
this verse.
lurky?
hi,
I said, why RL up there looking lurky?
because he's trying to comprehend right now what's going on.
Yeah,
Cause
look
Right,
at his
right, right.
eyes. He look like real lurky. Like what's happening?
Yeah, I'm faking it right now.
Doing a great job.
all right, let me see. Hold on, y'all. I was about to say, I just want your time. All right, there you go, right here. Dum, 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 dum. So yeah, please make sure y'all go check this EP out. I am a more. It is definitely a vibe. All right.
All right,
So,
all right.
so you check that out.
Chew it, chew it. RL relurking.
Get to know you more than just my friend. I hope you understand. And you feel the same way too. And go things down. I see you grow from a boy to a man. And baby, all I wanna do is just prove to you. Women, we ain't the same. Baby, let's ride you down. We can do it all night. Baby, let's vibe all night. Let's ride into the light.
Feel
And
free to sing along.
y'all need to go, right?
Yeah, we hear it.
All right.
We loving that vibe.
Thank you, thank you. I even sang live real fast. It makes my heart race, makes my mind escape. I feel like I just need to tell you that I will stay by your side to the end of time. Got your heart, baby, with all my might. And I really don't know how you feel, baby. I just hope I can set this mood right. Baby, let's vibe, let's ride. You and I, we can do it all night. Baby, let's vibe all night. That's alright. Rock until the morning light. And I ain't gonna play no games. Hear me, baby. I just wanna vibe with you. Vibe with me,
Yeah,
vibe with me, baby. Yeah, that's just the whole
right.
vibe.
That's right. That's right.
So
Thank
yeah,
you, thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Mike
Microphone
said
there.
that girl is good.
Thank you.
All
All
right,
right,
so I guess we
RL.
can close out.
I guess this is for, I'm supposed to end it right now. Is that what I'm supposed to
Yeah.
do? All right. Well, hey, I want to thank our lovely guests for coming on. From what I could hear, girl, you can sing. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and helping us start the third season off. I'm looking forward to DJ PRS1 editing and getting this up so I can watch it because I damn sure don't know what the hell the show was about. Hey, look, thank you for your love and support. Tune in next week to GVTV, and we out.
Need it from you, yeah. Crash land in the palm of my hand. Bad little flex wanna play by the coast. Carry the torch, I'm way up a slitty wherever we flow. I came from the cold, used to rest on the floor and stitch up my wounds, was born a soldier. Flipping the struggle, I'm taking it worldwide. Hold it down when you talk to me. Say it is what it's supposed to be. Say it loud, but I mean it too, yeah. Talk that good when you talk to me. Say it nice and I give it to you. You know my word is bond, yeah. What we on now is wild, shit a trip. Life is lit, take a breath, that's it. Now it's wild, it's shit a trip. Life is litty, shit a